Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Welcome back on a 79-degree and sunny afternoon in Nashville, Tennessee. Andy Reid in his 12th season as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. And Jeff Fisher on the other side in his 17th season with the Houston/Tennessee franchise. Fisher took over in Houston during the 94 season, Andy Reid in 99. 6 playoff appearances for Jeff Fisher and the Titans, 8 for Andy Reid, 1 Super Bowl appearance apiece. And Fisher 3-0 head-to-head against Andy Reid. So the 2 longest tenured head coaches in the NFL go head-to-head for the 4th time today.
And very refreshing to have 2 coaches that have a tenure like that in this NFL, which has become a win right now type of league. So to have Jeff Fisher, who's fought through some adversity at different points during his career, during the seasons, been able to turn things around. Andy Reid right now going through a big transition with the Philadelphia Eagles. If you don't have guys like this and you don't have stability at that head coaching position, it really puts you up against the 8 ball to have success. So good to see Tennessee and Philadelphia both understand the importance of keeping that head coach around for a long time.
Titans have won the toss. Mark Mariani back deep for Tennessee. As David Akers gets things started, we are underway in Nashville. Kickoff with the wind, sails through the end zone. So Kerry Collins, the 16-year veteran, will lead the Titans offense out. They will start from their own 20-yard line for Collins. His first start since last October in New England.
And as you saw on the pregame show with Jay Glazer, reported that he has that torn tendon on the middle finger of his throwing hand. So we'll have to see how that impacts his play today. Vince Young is the number 2 quarterback. So I don't know if there was the potential for him to be 3, and that means that there is some concern there to get him up to number 2. But he was gingerly moving around at practice on Friday.
Off the play fake. On first down, the pass sails out of bounds. As we check out the Titans offense, ranked 26th in the National Football League. Damian Williams, rookie out of USC, starts for the injured Justin Gage.
And Sean McDermott, no disrespect to Adrian Peterson, but he calls Chris Johnston the best running back in the NFL. And this group of 5 starting offensive linemen, very good at both the run and pass. Sometimes an offensive line will be better at one than the other. Not the case with the Tennessee Titans.
On 2nd and 10, not much for Chris Johnston, who ran for over 2,000 yards last season. The Eagles defense ranked 11th.
Well, just some really good performances last week against Atlanta. Antonio Dixon filling in for Broderick Bunkley has a nice game. But the linebacker group, I thought they played very, very well, especially Stuart Bradley. And here's your secondary. There's a concern with Sean McDermott that this group is still growing when you talk about the linebackers and the secondary. A lot of new faces right there. So he says they're still a work in progress, but they're playing pretty good in my opinion.
3 wide receivers on 3rd down and 10. Collins throws. The catch is made at the 24-yard line, but stopped 6 yards shy of a first down is Williams. So the Titans on their first possession go 3 and out. Jarrett Calvin, rookie out of Troy, back deep for the Eagles. Brett Kern back at his own 10-yard line. Fair catch called for back at the 34-yard line by Calvin, a 42-yard punt. As Kevin Cobb leads the Eagles offense out. For our viewers, in case you're wondering where Tony Siragusa is today, the Goose is in Baltimore for the 10th anniversary reunion celebration of the Ravens Super Bowl winning squad.
It's always a special bond when you talk about a group that wins a Super Bowl together, so I hope Goose is enjoying his weekend back in Baltimore with all his teammates.
He will be introduced at halftime of today's game between the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Cobb on first down, complete to Jeremy Maclin, who gains 9. You mentioned during our open, Darryl, that the Eagles, of course, are without Deshaun Jackson, who suffered the concussion last week on the hit from Dante Robinson. So Jason Avant starts for Jackson today.
Yeah, but the question is, how do they, get that big play explosive capability down the field without Deshaun Jackson? We'll have to wait and see that pans out. This group, the offensive line, very effective last week against Atlanta, and I give a lot of that credit to Andy Reid and Marty Morningweg with their play call.
On 2nd and 1, Cobb being chased, moving to his right, and he throws it away. So a 3rd down and 1 upcoming for the Eagles against the Titans' 16th ranked defense, but as far as points allowed per game, they are 4th in the league.
There's a couple of categories when you look at an overall ranking and then you kind of look into it that are more important. And this group is very, very good in sacks, in points, in some of the critical areas. Not a lot of people know about them. They're very aggressive. They're going to get after you for 60 minutes, and you better be ready to block them, because up front they can bring a lot of pressure with just that down 4.
Titans lead the league in sacks with 24. 3rd down and 1. Inside handoff, and LaShawn McCoy picks up a first down out to the 47-yard line.
When you start to look at Tennessee, it's one of those groups that you don't know a whole lot about, and then you start looking at them and you're like, wow, these guys are really good. You see they lead it in sacks, red zone TD percentage, 3rd down. I mean, those are some really, really critical areas. Points, the number 1, they're in the top 5, number 4. So it's an overall ranking of 16, but very, very critical areas. They're very good.
The 16 ranking refers to the yards allowed per game. Another inside handoff to McCoy. And this time he gains 2. Chris Hope on the tackle along with William Hayes.
Number 24, Chris Hope.
There's Chuck Cecil, the Titans defensive coordinator.
And I'm sure a little bit of mentality that this group plays with comes from Chuck Cecil, who was a player that I played against during my career. And let me tell you what, Chuck Cecil, when he came onto the field, he was ready to play the game of football. One of the toughest guys I ever had to go against.
2nd down and 9 as Cobb hands it off to Chad Hall, the rookie out of Air Force, who was involved in the offense early last week for the Eagles as well.
And here's the challenge when you play against Philadelphia. Just in this opening series, you see all the different things you have to defend. We've seen a screen pass. We've seen some misdirection, some kind of read keep, even with Kevin Cobb in there, a play that you would think Michael Vick would have. But Marty Morningweg is not going to change things. He's going to run this offense, and it's really going to make Tennessee's defense think. It takes away that aggression because you have to think so much and pay attention to what the personnel groups are on the field.
You saw Michael Vick. He is in uniform. He's the 3rd quarterback today. Mike Kafka, the backup to Kevin Cobb. On 1st down, Cobb with time, and he dumps it over the top to McCoy. And McCoy gains 4 yards down to the 40. Stephen Tulloch made the tackle.
One of the things that Philadelphia will have to guard against is when you are an explosive team and you stretch the field as well as they do, you're going to get a lot of coverages from the defense. They're going to put players back in a position where they keep everything in front of them. They don't want to let somebody run by. So at times, Kevin Cobb is going to have to check that ball down like he did there. Just take that decision, make it quick, get some positive yards.
Eldred Buckley now in the backfield, 2nd down and 6. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. Cobb's pass was intended for Jeremy Maclin.
Looks like a little slip at the top of the route. Jeremy Maclin at the bottom of the screen. He's going against Alteron Werner. Now, Alteron Werner is a rookie. He is one of the people that Philadelphia thinks if they can catch in some man-to-man situations, that they can set him up early in the game and then maybe later in the game hit him with a double move or an extended play down the field.
On 3rd down and 6 from the Titans 41. Cobb being chased by Ball. And the pass to the 39-yard line is caught by the fullback Owen Schmidt. But not enough for a first down.
And this is what I mean when Tennessee's defense is going to have to think throughout the game. Look, this is an open formation, but here's Owen Schmidt, your fullback, is out here. They come out with a traditional set, and then they break it. They go to an empty set with a regular personnel in. Regular personnel is a fullback, tailback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. So they're always making the opposition's defense think and be aware of who's on the field.
Sav Rocca will punt from midfield. Mariani back deep. Titans have still not allowed a score on an opponent's opening possession this season. Fair catch called for by Mariani. So Kerry Collins and the Titans will start from deep in their own territory.
Congratulations to
Back in Nashville, Titans have won their last 11 against NFC opponents. That's the longest current streak in the NFL. Titans also 3-0 since moving to Tennessee against the Eagles. Out to the 10-yard line. Chris Johnston gains 4.
One of the most explosive runners in the league today. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that every gap is filled. That means you have to fill the seams. Now watch Chris Johnston from behind. The patience. Now he finds his spot. Now explosive right there. I mean, very subtle, but when he sees a lane, he can go from that patient mode of the first steps to find the hold to top speed in just a couple of strides.
Second and 6, Johnson again. Comes to the outside. Picks up a first down and more. Finally forced out of bounds by Asante Samuel at the 22-yard line, a gain of 12.
As he's trying to find that lane, he's always staying square. And he just freezes Ellis Hobbs in that spot, and all of a sudden he's got the edge. And that's the scariest thing for this Philadelphia defense, is to see number 28 turning the corner and having the sideline. A good job by Asante Samuel getting over there, forcing him out of bounds.
So many people we spoke to this week on both sides said unequivocally Chris Johnson, fastest running back in the NFL. Here's Collins on first down. Pass intended for the tight end, Craig Stevens.
Without Vince Young in the lineup, Philadelphia Eagles really can concentrate on just Chris Johnson, and he's off to a great start. It's his third year with Mike Heimerdinger. It's kind of that breakthrough season, and he's really gotten off to a great start in 2010. And that's just throwing the football. You saw the stats there, but more importantly than that is the threat that he puts on the defense as a runner. And Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, not afraid to call Vince's number a number of times during the game. Philadelphia does not have to worry about that with Kerry at quarterback.
Collins on second and 10. Pump fake. Now he throws, and it is Quinton Michael who comes down with the interception. His first of the season, but there is a flag. Ed Hockley, our referee.
Well, this is one of those situations. Kerry Collins has been in the league for 16 years. He has to know not to throw this ball up for grabs in that situation. It's a jump ball scenario. Quinton Michael is underneath. There's help over the top. It's a bad play to begin with. Just throw it away and don't force the turnover.
There was sideline interference by the Philadelphia bench, and 15-yard penalty is enforced after the interception. It's Philadelphia's ball, first down.
So the flag came out after the pick.
Well, you know that Andy Reid's going to be trying to find out who was the guilty party for that sideline interference. Well, we found out who the guilty party is. It's Michael Vick. But maybe more importantly than that, if you're a Tennessee Titan fan, is this possession by Quinton Michael on the interception. Here's Michael Vick down here. He's going to bump with the side judge, but keep your eyes right there. Is there possession on the interception? It looks like it may have hit the ground, but it didn't wiggle. No challenge as of yet by the Tennessee Titans.
So the Eagles take over following the turnover from their own 34-yard line as Cobb hands it off to LaShawn McCoy. And McCoy gains 5 out to the 39.
And obviously Andy Reid is going to make sure he knows who was the guilty party in the sideline interference penalty. He goes and talks to Michael Vick. You know, you're passionate about the game. You want to be out there and help your team. You're still not back 100% from your injury. So Michael's just got to understand he's got to stay out of that designated area where he's not supposed to be in on the sideline.
He stayed in the locker room last week. Second down and 5 as Cobb fires downfield. Put a little too much on it, intended for Brent Selleck. We check in for the first time today with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, Kenny, last week the Niners got their first win of the season. They're trying to make it 2 in a row in Carolina today. Big 53-yard reception by Vernon Davis from Alex Smith. Down at the 1, but he scored on the next play. Same combination, and it's a 7-0 Niner lead. Kenny Moose.
All right, Kurt, so the 49ers look to make it 2 in a row and turn things around against Carolina. Third down and 5. Jeremy Maclin in motion. Eagles must get to the 44. Cobb fires high. And pass intended for Chad Hall. Eagles will punt.
I want to go back to the play before that with Brent Selleck on the bootleg. And this is one of the things you have to guard against when you play Philadelphia. They run traditional plays, but they throw a wrinkle. Here's your bootleg. Now, normally you expect a tier to the play side. This is a throwback bootleg. Kevin Cobb is moving out to his right. You expect kind of tiers built. Somebody in the flat, somebody medium, and then somebody deep to the boot side. Philadelphia will slip that tight end out the back.
Rocca punting for the second time. Eagles unable to capitalize on the Quinton Michael interception. Mariani from the 15. Tackled at the 26-yard line by Akeem Jordan. 46-yard punt, 11 on the return. No score here in Nashville. Kerry Collins, at the age of 37, came into the league in '95. He was third among active quarterbacks in passing yards, trailing only Brett Favre and Peyton Manning. From the 26, Chris Johnston looks to cut it back the other way. Penalty marker as Johnson gains 1.
What a nice job by Nate Allen on that play. And that's what you have to do. You have to be responsible for your gaps in this run defense.
Holding, offense number 64. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Left guard Leroy Harris.
.64 right there in the center of your screen. You can see the grab right there. Now as Chris Johnston works to the backside, there's Nate Allen right there, number 29. Good job as the backside contained, not falling down to the inside as he moves to the other side of the field. Do your job. If you don't do your job against Chris Johnston, you're going to be chasing number 28, 50, 60, 70 yards down the field.
Eagles very pleased with the play of Allen this season, the rookie out of South Florida. First down and 20 following the penalty. Here's Johnson, another flag, as Quinton Michael and Stuart Bradley combine to make the tackle.
There were 2 fouls on the offense on the play. Holding number 64. There was also holding number 73. Number 73 is declined. It's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
So Harris again, as well as the right guard, Jake Scott.
What's happening to this offensive line I talked so positively about at the top? Wow, there's 64 again, Leroy Harris. Not even a hold, more of a clothesline. You see right there, he's out of position, just reaches out. Takes Moses Poku right off his feet.
Both of these teams in the top 5 in penalties per game this season. First down and 28 as number 28, Chris Johnson, is hit hard as he's knocked out of bounds at the 19.
Nice hustle across the field by Ernie Sims.
Asante Samuel lost his helmet. Gain of 11 on the play.
Chris Johnston gets out on the corner. We're going to see a big hit right here by Ernie Sims coming across.
Second down.
Samuel leaves the field, replaced by Joselio Hansen. Second down and 17. Collins in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 11-yard line, wrapped up initially by Antonio Dixon, starting once again today for the injured Broderick Bunkley.
We talked about the impact of not having Vince Young in the running game, but in the passing game, what's going to happen is that launch point, the spot where Kerry Collins is going to set up the pass, is going to be pretty much the same all day. And Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, will be able to design his pressures to come to a certain area. When you have somebody like Vince Young who's mobile and that launch point changes, whether it moves outside the tackle, it's in a traditional spot, it's a shotgun dash, it's very, very hard for him to bring that pressure.
Third down and 23, the inside handoff for the second-year back out of Michigan State, Javon Ringer. Gain of 5, and the Titans once again will send out the punting unit. Tennessee killed by penalties that drive.
That was an awful series offensively for the Tennessee Titans, just self-destructed.
On the run. To Calvin.
Brett Kern back at his own 3-yard line. Jordan Calvin back deep for the Eagles. Low snap. Kern gets the punt away. And a fair catch called for by Calvin. At the 48, 36-yard punt. Terrific field position for the Eagles. Here comes the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Back in a moment. Back in Nashville, this stadium sold out for the 125th consecutive game. Since they opened it up in '99, every game has been sold out in Nashville. Eagles start from their own 48-yard line as Cobb just able to get rid of it, and picking up a first down as McCoy takes it all the way down to the Titans 41, a gain of 12.
Well, both of these quarterbacks for the Philadelphia Eagles, is there a controversy or is there not? I don't think so. I agree with Andy Reid. Now the issue is what happens when they're both healthy, because they've been able to do this when one has been playing for the other. Now in a couple of weeks, that man right there, Michael Vick, is going to be over his rib injury, and that's when it will become complicated for Andy Reid.
Andy said it's a beautiful thing. McCoy gains 2 to the 39 as we check in on the Redskins and the Bears with Kurt Menaker. Donovan McNabb back in his hometown of Chicago. So while we talk about Cobb and Vick, who have combined to replace McNabb in Philadelphia this season, the Redskins have fallen behind the Bears. Cobb on 2nd and 8 fires. It was deflected and then nearly picked off by Finnegan. And there is a penalty marker down.
Flag.
Holding, offense number 62. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
The right guard, Max Gene Gillis.
Max Gene Gillis, 62, right in the center of your screen right there as he goes behind. You can see the hold.
Pass deflected off the helmet of Jason Jones. So now the Eagles forced back thanks to a holding penalty. Second down and 18. Riley Cooper back in the lineup, missed the last 2 games with a concussion. Split to the left, Macklin to the right. Eagles empty the backfield. From the Titans 49. Cobb on 2nd and long. Throws a perfect strike to Jason Avant. Down to the Titans 33, a 16-yard pass play.
And again, this is one of the things that Philadelphia's offense does to challenge you defensively. It's a regular set again. Watch Owen Schmidt. He's going to come and he's going to block before he releases. He's not chipping. He's squaring up on William Hayes. Kind of stops him, then lets the tackle set. Now, when you've got people stretching the field vertically, you've got to create more time for your quarterback. And Philadelphia does that with their protections as good as anybody in the NFL.
Eldra Bunkley in the backfield, 3rd down and 2. Cobb complete to Schmidt for a first down. The fullback, Owen Schmidt, needed 2, and he gains 3.
Standard play in the NFL. You flash the fullback at the end. Here comes your tailback to chop him down. He's out in the flat. It happens so quick. If you get the ball to him, it's pretty consistent. that you'll be able to pick up the first down in a 3rd and short situation.
I know you love flashing. Flash the fullback right at the end.
Don't get me in trouble, Kenny.
From the 30. Inside handoff to McCoy. And McCoy gains 3 down to the 27.
Well, LaShawn McCoy is getting a lot of respect from the opponents that watch him on film as you get ready to play the Philadelphia Eagles. We had them against Atlanta last week. Curtis Lofton, a lot of nice things to say about LaShawn McCoy. And against Stephen Tulloch today, getting ready for this game, was very, very impressed with LaShawn McCoy as he watched him on film.
Eagles empty the backfield once again. 2nd down and 7. Now Hall shifts into the backfield. Hall takes the handoff from Cobb. Chad Hall down to the 23-yard line for a gain of 4. Hall, out of the Air Force Academy, spent the last 2 years out of football. What was he doing? He was repairing F-16 bombers out in Salt Lake City.
I wonder if he worked on the ones we had to fly by before the game, right after the anthem. He might have been wearing some heels when he got that 5'8" designation, too.
Third down and 3. Selleck makes the catch. Forward progress seems to indicate a first down. Took a big hit from Alteron Verner, the rookie out of UCLA.
Now, I want you to watch this. This is Brent Selleck. Now what he's going to do is he's going to run through zones. Shut it down right there. Shut it down. Don't keep running. You've got to recognize the coverage that's out there. It's a good tackle by Alteron Verner. Right there, it's exactly what everybody talked about during the course of the week. It's a shoulder into the midsection. It's not a helmet, forearm, or shoulder towards the head. Great job by Alteron Verner understanding the point of emphasis this week and still being able to deliver a big hit.
Final play of the first quarter, LaShawn McCoy down to the 11-yard line. Cortland Finnegan made the tackle, gain of 8. So no score after 1, but the Eagles on the move here in Nashville. Back in Nashville, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston. Philadelphia Eagles, Tennessee Titans are scoreless. 2nd down and 2 for the Eagles.
Evan Cobb's way out here.
Jeremy Maclin lined up in the shotgun. And he takes the snap, hands it off to McCoy. And a good second effort by LaShawn McCoy.
When you don't have Michael Vick, you throw Jeremy Maclin back in the Wildcat formation. Let him do the read. But that's the dimension that man right there brings. But he's become much more of a Wildcat quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles this season.
So now a 3rd down and 1. Cobb back under center. Here's McCoy over the top, and he has the first down.
Well, at the end of that first quarter, we had the pass to Brent Selleck when he ran through the zones and took the big hit. Now, we were at the game last week in Philadelphia with Deshaun Jackson, kind of the same thing, running through the zone. Dante Robinson, the big hit. Now, what happens is when all the players responded to that, they didn't see anything wrong with the hit by Dante Robinson on Deshaun Jackson, but he was fined. The league designated it as one of those hits last weekend that could result in a suspension, and he was fined $50,000. So right now, we've got kind of a little bit of a disconnect between what the league is saying and what the players see, and I thought that John Lynch made an excellent point in our pregame show today when he talked about the culture of the NFL and what Ronnie Lott told him. And you look at Chuck Cecil and Jeff Fisher there. As defensive-minded coaches, they're going to teach their guys also about generating turnovers. And you don't create a turnover with a form tackle. You create turnovers when you have a hit that separates the ball carrier from the football. So I agree with John Lynch. We're seeing it in a different way, and we have to do things to change the culture.
On 2nd and goal, McCoy ran into his own man, the left tackle, King Dunlap, and then former Eagle Jason Babin made the tackle. McCoy loses 5 yards.
Just tremendous penetration up the field by Jason Babbitt. No chance for LaShawn McCoy. I mean, as soon as he gets the handoff, his offensive tackle is coming straight back.
Now 3rd and goal from the 12. Avant split to the left. Selleck in the slot. Cobb on 3rd and goal fires, and the catch is made by the tight end Garrett Mills, his 2nd reception of the season. But the Eagles will send out the field goal unit after Mills gained 6.
And that's what happens when you don't have Deshaun Jackson in the lineup. You split Jeremy Maclin to the left, and then you bring your 3 receivers to the right, and it's going to be 2 tight ends and Jason Avant. You don't have that double threat. When you've got Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin on the field, you can threaten with speed on both edges, and Philadelphia will not be able to do that this afternoon.
So here's David Akers, who missed 3 field goals against Atlanta last week for the first time in his career, a 3-1 game. From the right hash, a 25-yard attempt, and Akers nails it. So the Eagles on the scoreboard first, early in the 2nd quarter here in Nashville. 3-0 Philadelphia. Coming up next week on Fox, game 1 of our doubleheader. Many of you will see the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets, and then America's game of the week, the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. It all begins with the Ford Fox NFL pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific next Sunday on Fox. The Eagles drive 14 plays. Kevin Cobb, 5 of 6 for 39 yards. David Akers, 25-yard field goal. Thought about taking it out. Instead, down to a knee. So the Titans will start from their own 20-yard line, trailing by 3. Back in the Music City.
Hey.
Cowboys fan in the house.
There you go. With the hat and everything. Roger Staubach would be very, very grateful.
Titans have already beaten the Cowboys this year. That game was played in Dallas.
Thank you.
Also beat the Giants. They're 2-0 against the NFC.
Most teams have beat Dallas this year, Kenny, if you're keeping track.
Here's Chris Johnston. Johnston out to the 23. Gain of 2. Titans coming into this game with the best average starting field position in the league.
Not the case this afternoon. Some of that within their own control, too. Some penalties getting them back there, but Philadelphia winning the battle of field position throughout the 1st quarter and here early in the 2nd.
2nd down and 8. Collins complete at the 27-yard line. Damian Williams, gain of 5. Collins' 2nd completion. He's now 2 for 5.
You mentioned that Damian Williams got the start today at the wide receiver spot. Kenny Britt involved in an incident Thursday night. Jeff Fisher told us he was going to do his due diligence to find out exactly what had happened during the course of that evening. We'll have to see if Kenny Britt at some point gets on the field today. He didn't bench him. But I tell you what, the way that Sean McDermott talked about him, hopefully he's not out too long for Tennessee fans, because Sean McDermott thinks at some point he's going to be one of the breakout receivers in the NFL.
And here's Williams, who made the start. He picks up 16 yards, so the Titans move the chains. For Tennessee, it's only their 2nd first down of the game.
A very underrated wide receiver group. When you look at them as a whole, Kenny Britt with the big play potential, but Nate Washington, Damian Williams, Lavelle Hawkins, Mark Mariani will be in there. He's also done a great job as a return specialist for Tennessee. But pretty solid top to bottom in this wide receiver group.
3 catches so far for Williams. Here's Johnson across midfield. And he is wrapped up by Quentin Michael as we check in on the Redskins and the Bears once again with Eagles keeping a close eye on that score. Washington 3-3. 1 game behind the Giants and Eagles in the NFC East. Titans in Eagles territory. Collins' pass was low, intended for Johnson.
And you just got to throw that one away. I mean, he's already got one turnover earlier today on an interception, throwing it into a covered area. Ellis Hobbs, stride for stride with Nate Washington right there. We go to the top of the screen. Damian Williams against Asante Samuel. And there's Craig Stevens, covered up by Quentin Michael. So everybody's covered downfield, but Kerry Collins, you know, there was a lot of people around Chris Johnston when he made that throw. Throw it at his feet, so you take away the possibility of that big turnover.
Now 3 wide receivers. Collins to the near side to Nate Washington. At the Eagles' 40-yard line, gain of 7.
And that's where Kerry Collins is at his best. Mike Heimerdinger trying to get him in more of those situations where it's that quick release, the timing, that's just a little speed cut on the outside.
They're down.
Third down and 3. Penalty marker. Collins was looking for Williams. But it looks like this one will go against the Eagles.
Offside. Defense, number 31. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Ellis Hobbs jump at the right corner.
Down the bottom of your screen, trying to get a jam. He gets into the neutral zone for the snap, 3rd and 3. Unacceptable on the outside. You should not be listening to the cadence of the quarterback out there. Your eyes should be on the receiver.
So a new set of downs for the Titans from the Eagles' 35. Pass intended for the tight end, Bo Scaife, who did not practice much this week.
Coverage by number 31, Ellis Hobbs.
Maybe one of the reasons that this Titans offense looks so out of sync right now. You mentioned that Bo did not practice a whole lot this week. Kerry's working through the course of the work week with that torn tendon on the middle finger of his throwing hand. Right now, Mike Heimerdinger trying to find something to get some type of rhythm established for this Tennessee offense.
Without Justin Gage, without Kenny Britt on the field, here's Chris Johnson. Johnson lowers his shoulders, takes it down to the 31, tackled by Stuart Bradley.
Gain of 4. 3rd and 6.
Production with Bo Scaife right there. And even though he was unable to practice this week, I think that Mike Heimerdinger was very confident that he'd be able to jump in and without the full work week be able to be effective. Complimented on how smart he was, but I still say it's important to be out there working with your team during the course of the work week.
Collins on 3rd and 6, loses the football as he was hit. And the Eagles have recovered. The second Tennessee Titans turnover on a hit by Quentin Michael. Quentin Michael with an interception earlier, now a sack and a forced fumble.
Javon Ringer's just got to understand that he has to check that protection right here. He's going to go up inside. His assignment is Quentin Michael off the edge. He's beat immediately because he doesn't square his shoulders. If he just kind of squares his shoulders towards his assignment and then release upside inside, he would have been fine.
Now Cobb off the play fake, firing downfield, and it's an easy interception for Michael Griffin, who now has a pick in each of the last 4 games. And Griffin is tackled by Jeremy Maclin in Eagles territory. So Philadelphia gives it right back, a 28-yard return by Griffin.
This is going to go down in the box scores as an interception on Kevin Cobb, but it was the impact on the throw by the pressure up front. He can't step into this throw and deliver it. William Hayes gets the pressure coming in from the left side. That impacts the throw right into the middle of the field. Michael Griffin with the easy interception. I tell you, Tennessee does a great job on a change of possession. Their guys all locked up with a Philadelphia offensive player. Do a nice job creating the opportunity for whoever makes the turnover to be able to run with it after the catch.
There was no foul on the play. The action after the play was legal. Tennessee's ball, first down.
So Michael Griffin, first-round pick back in 2007 out of Texas, with the pick in 4 consecutive games. So the Titans offense right back on the field. And Kenny Britt is on the field for the first time, split out to the right. Top of the screen. First and 10 from the Eagles' 45. Here's Chris Johnston. Not much.
I think Jeff Fisher got his point across. There's something we have to keep an eye on right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's Winston Justice. He's getting his knee checked out. Now, he's the right tackle. We've seen King Dunlap a couple of times on the right side. Back earlier in this quarter, there was the play where Jason Babin drove King Dunlap back into the backfield, stuffed a run by LaShawn McCoy, and on that pressure right there with William Hayes, it was King Dunlap at right tackle.
Second down and 9. Pass was deflected, incomplete. 3rd and 9 coming up. And we check in once again with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Steelers and Dolphins, talk about run after the catch. Roethlisberger finds Hines Ward, breaks a tackle, and then slips another one into the end zone. 21 yards on the score. Steelers up 10-6 in the second quarter. Kenny and Moose.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Ben Roethlisberger in his second game back following the 4-game suspension. Third down and 9. Collins under pressure from Jaquay Parker, the former Titan. And a flag is thrown as Collins was hit late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 75. Slung the quarterback to the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jaquay Parker gets up inside, and there's your slam at the end. And you're going to hear some boos probably here in the stadium. You can see right there, Jaquay Parker knows. He puts his head down on the ground. Andy Reid's not going to be happy. That's a rule that's been in this league for several years now.
He was a Titan for 4 seasons. He recovered the fumble moments ago on the sack by Quentin Michael. But this time it cost his team 15 yards. And now Collins going deep into the end zone, out of bounds. Nate Washington.
Asante Samuel sitting on something again. He's an aggressive corner. He'll have a tendency to jump some things. Nate Washington runs right by him on that one, and they just miss on the outside.
Now Washington split to the left, Britt to the right. Britt finally inserted into this game on this drive midway through the second quarter. Collins swings it out. Johnston, his second effort, takes it down to the 26-yard line for a gain of 3.
He just has such great control. I mean, it's the patience. I mean, it's to a new level. When he catches the ball, the way he moves, his footwork. He's a tough guy too. Listen to this hit. Really impressed with his footwork. We all hear about his breakaway speed and his big play capability, but I'm very impressed with his footwork.
3 wide receivers set, third down and 7. Collins looking for Britt, goes up, makes the catch, touchdown!
One-on-one on the outside against Ellis Hobbs, and this is why you worry about him. He's a big physical receiver. He's going to go up and make the catch. 6'2", 217.
Britt with a touchdown in 5 consecutive games. Last player in franchise history to do that, Chris Sanders with the Houston Oilers back in 1995. So Britt, as we've been chronicling, involved in an altercation at a nightclub on Thursday night. Jeff Fisher thought about not dressing Britt today. He was in uniform, did not start. Finally entered the game midway through the second quarter, and it did not take long for Britt to reach the end zone. 7-3 Titans. Well, the Titans able to capitalize following the first Eagles turnover. 26-yard touchdown pass from Kerry Collins to that man, Kenny Britt.
And one of the things that people talk about is beyond the turnover. It's not just getting the turnover, it's what you do with it after that. Philadelphia has not done a good job converting turnovers into points today. But Tennessee, with their first opportunity, takes it down for a touchdown.
And the Titans this season, second in the league in points following takeaways. Kickoff with the win through the end zone. Eagles will start from their own 20 as Kerry Collins celebrates Titans with their first lead of the day. Titans have dominated the second quarter, the 2 longest tenured head coaches in the NFL. And they actually played high school football at the same time in the Los Angeles area, although not against each other, as Andy pointed out to us last night. First and 10 from the 20-yard line as Cobb sets up the screen to McCoy. And McCoy takes it out to the 30-yard line, close to a first down.
Well, we talked about the last series, and that was my mistake. King Dunlap is back at the left tackle position. Winston Justice was getting his leg checked out. He's back in at right tackle. And if you're going to play the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the things you're going to have to do is be able to defend that screen pass. One of the best screen teams in the NFL. And a lot of that goes with those 5 guys up front. They do an excellent job blocking people in space.
First and 10 from the 30-yard line. Off the play fake. Cobb can't find anyone downfield. Down he goes. Back at the 26. Dave Ball having an outstanding season. Now with 6 sacks, extending his career high.
Well, this is one of the opportunities that Philadelphia is going to try and stretch the ball down the field. You can see how long this play takes to develop. Good coverage there on Jeremy Maclin. Good coverage here on Jason Avant. It's a 2-man route down the field. You're moving the pocket. You're holding everybody in with a little bit of a play fake. But that Titans defensive front is so quick that they're able to get to the spot, flush Kevin Cobb out of the pocket, and get the sack.
Empty backfield, second down and 14 for the Eagles. Cobb moving to his right, throws, and it's out of the reach of Jeremy Maclin.
Right now, this Tennessee Titans defensive front is controlling the line of scrimmage. And Philadelphia did a great job last week against Atlanta protecting Kevin Cobb. That has not been the case today. He has been under pressure the majority of the afternoon.
Three wide receivers on third down and 14. Cobb moving to his right. Can't find anyone downfield. And Cobb looks to have a first down as he crosses the 40. Doing his best Michael Vick impersonation.
It's a very effective scramble. I mean, you've got a little bit of pressure. He sees everything get pushed to the inside. He moves to his right. But the key here is LaShawn McCoy down the field. Watch the block right there on Will Witherspoon. And right away, as Kevin Cobb got up, he signaled to LaShawn McCoy because he doesn't make that first down if LaShawn doesn't get that block downfield.
Cobb gained 15 on third down and 14. Now the give to McCoy. Nice change of direction. McCoy to the 48-yard line picks up 7 before he was tackled by Chris Hope.
And here's why there's a tremendous amount of respect for LaShawn McCoy. Look at that cut. The play is designed to go to the right side. He's back out the left side, needs to squeeze that ball as he's moving down the field. Don't let that ball come off the body.
Jacob Ford is the injured Titan. With 4 minutes remaining, second quarter here in Nashville. Titans leading the Eagles 7-3. Titans staff tending to Ford. We'll be back.
Good to see Jacob Ford up and moving around, just kind of moving down the line of scrimmage in pursuit. He's going to come in from the left side of your screen. You're going to see him go down to the turf right there. Kind of gets bent back awkwardly a little bit. He's on the sideline moving around, just gave somebody the thumbs up.
Second down and 3 for the Eagles from their own 48-yard line. Bob off his back foot, the screen to McCoy, has running room, picks up a first down, and is forced out of bounds at the Titans 42, a gain of 10.
Nice move on Cortland Finnegan. He's the first person up to support on the screen, and LaShawn McCoy just freezes him on the outside. Watch 31 come into frame. Breaks him down, and he tackles there.
That's McCoy's 4th reception coming into this game. The Eagles' leading receiver. And of course, they're without Sean Jackson today, so they've relied heavily. Now some trickery as Macklin took the snap. Now here's Cobb firing downfield.
Oh, great play.
What a catch by Riley Cooper. It went Macklin to McCoy to Cobb and then Cooper.
Well, that's a nice use of the Wildcat formation, because I always have an issue when you put the quarterback outside. It's 11 on 10. Now watch Kevin Cobb come back into the picture. The final flip goes back into your quarterback's hands. But it's underthrown. This should be an interception for Tennessee, but Chris Hope waits on the ball, and a great effort by Riley Cooper. That's just a great job by a young wide receiver.
37-yard pass play. Cooper's second reception of the season. Rookie out of Florida.
That's their first.
Eagles call timeout.
Well, one of the things that's happening this weekend that didn't happen last weekend is when they dial up these big play opportunities, if it's not for great efforts like that with Riley Cooper, they're not executing how they did against Atlanta last week. Kevin Cobb rarely missed when they had one of those big plays. And I had an opportunity to look at Andy Reid's play sheet last night and talk to him about, hey, against Atlanta, you got into the third quarter. We wondered if you had any more big plays left on your call sheet. And he goes, oh yeah, we had a few. And he showed me how many that he carries on this little piece of paper right here. It is unbelievable. I mean, there's like 30 shots down the field.
And it's very colorful.
It actually might be that section right there. I mean, those are all big plays. It's not like a red zone category. It's not a short yardage category. It's when Philadelphia wants to stretch the field like they did on that last play. It's some kind of a gadget. It's something that everybody that plays Philadelphia knows they have to guard against. And last week, Kevin Cobb was fantastic in those situations. He's been a little bit off today. He missed Brent Selleck on the throwback bootleg. He underthrew that one right there. Riley Cooper makes the great play, so it's a big play for Philadelphia.
How often do you see a play where 4 different players on one team touch the football following the snap?
I like the way that they use the Wildcat formation. When you split the quarterback out, in my opinion, you're kind of taking him out of the play, and to motion him back in and get him involved was a great play design.
Here's McCoy on 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. And he takes it down to the 4 before he's tackled by Chris Hope. And Andy Reid, players we spoke to, gave a lot of credit to Morningwood last week. Not only for the big plays that succeeded against Atlanta, but the timing, especially the one in the second half, the 83-yard pass with some wind swirling around from Cobb to Macklin.
And a very similar situation on that play right there, and I'm sure that was one of the things they worried about. That big play with that throw was going into the wind in the direction Philadelphia is moving.
9th play of the drive for the Eagles on 2nd and goal. Cobb to the end zone. There was some contact between Finnegan and Cooper, so the clock stops with 2:01 remaining in the first half.
You wonder how difficult it is right now for Marty Morningweg in this situation, because we talked to him about his play design and all those big shots down the field. I loved his response. You know, why spend a lot of time drawing up plays that make you 4 or 5 yards? Well, unfortunately, right here, here's a situation where you've only got 15 yards to work with. So one of those situations that you better have something that can gain you 4 or 5 yards.
We'll have to go 5 here. 3rd and goal from the 5. Cobb, Cooper, touchdown. His first in the NFL.
Well, he deserved that. I mean, just a great effort by him on the gadget play to get Philadelphia down in close. He's going to come out of the bunch right here. Looks like he's going to end up working on Stephen Tulloch out of that bunch. That's the matchup you're looking for, a wide receiver against that linebacker on that shallow cross.
David Akers has the extra point. Well, he was Tim Tebow's roommate in Florida. Now he's a Philadelphia Eagle, and he has his first National Football League touchdown. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They will take a look at the Redskins Bears matchup, as well as the New Orleans Saints. Fox Sports Ticker will have all the latest stats as well. That's coming up on the Visa halftime report. Well, we've talked about the wind.
I thought they did an onside and he missed for a second. It's like, well, that's a gutsy call at 1:56 left to go in the first half. I got a couple flags wrapped around up there, so it is blowing a little bit. Right at the last second, it tumbles off the tee.
Both place kickers were booming field goals during warm-ups, and the goalpost to our left for today's game. David Akers and Rod Baronis. See if the ball stays on the tee this time. It does. Mariani to an E. Well, Darryl, I know you'll be watching as the Texas Rangers and San Francisco Giants play Game 1 of the World Series this Wednesday on Fox. That's the action at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. In high definition, Game 1 of the World Series, Rangers and the Giants. Riley Cooper also played baseball in college. He was a draft pick of the Texas Rangers last year. He was also selected by the Philadelphia Phillies back in 2006. In fact, they wanted to pick Cooper in the first round out of high school, but he told them he was gearing himself towards football. Now Collins going deep, intended for Kenny Britt. As the Titans touchdown.
Boy, Quentin Michael got lucky there. You can't let that situation happen inside of 2 minutes in the first half. He kind of got caught flat-footed. Quentin Michael's going to be your safety. And they had a mix-up right there because he was flat getting over to the outside to help out with the deep half of the field. Kenny Britt was beyond him.
Now Britt split to the left. Washington to the right, Williams in the slot. 2nd and 10. Titans keep it on the ground with Ringer, penalty marker. As Ringer forced out of bounds at the 30.
Holding, offense number 18. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
That's on Brent.
Working on the outside against Ellis Hobbs. You can't get outside. And then when he turns to run away, you got to let him go. I'm not saying that holding doesn't happen quite a bit on the field, but if you just do, you know, when the player turns and moves, let him go. I mean, nobody is perfectly technically sound out there, but you just have to understand when you have to let go of the defender so you don't get flagged.
Collins on second down and 15. Pump fake. Down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line, Trent Cole.
I think one of the things you forget about as a pass rusher is leverage. And we've talked to several people, and when they talk about Trent Cole, number one, he's a great speed to power guy. You're kind of waiting on that bull rush, and then he's quick enough to get around you. But he's also got great leverage. He just brings so many different things as a pass rusher on the edge that it's hard for these tackles to be able to account for all the different moves that he can throw at you.
Third Eagle sack today, 6th of the season for Trent Cole, which is music to the ears of Sean McDermott here in Music City.
Well, he's real happy with the play of his defensive line. He still feels that his back seven, the linebackers in the secondary, because they do have some new faces there and they're playing together for the first time, like Nate Allen, Ernie Sims, a couple of guys who not a lot of starts in their career. He feels that that group will even get better as the season progresses.
Third down at 22. Titans keep it on the ground with Johnston. And he's met by Jaquay Parker.
And we talked about Trent Cole's repertoire. Here's some more. You know, the upfield, now the spin. He doesn't even go back inside. And that's Michael Ruse. Michael Ruse is one of the better tackles in the NFL. So that's a great battle going on the outside.
Titans getting set to punt. The officials are now keeping track of the time remaining on the field. The problem with the scoreboard clock. Our Fox box is interfaced with the scoreboard, so that is why you do not see the time in the upper left-hand corner. So the Eagles get the ball back with no timeouts remaining. Kern punching from his own end zone. Good kick. Forcing Calvin all the way back to the 26. 10-yard return out to the 36-yard line by Jared Calvin. A 66-yard punt. 10 on the return.
Tim Shaw on the stop.
Holding by the kicking team, number 58. Before the punt, a penalty will be enforced in the previous spot, half the distance to the goal. Repeat, fourth down.
That's a holding call against the long snapper, Kanemato, prior to the punt.
Unfortunately for Tennessee, they're going to have to pull this off again. Brett Kern, just a great job with that 66-yard punt. He's got the wind at his back. I mean, Tennessee has an opportunity here to be able to get out of the half without any points. But it's going to depend on Brett Kern being able to duplicate what he just did. And then you've got Philadelphia moving into the wind as they try and get a field goal at the end of the first half here.
Again, we apologize for the clock problems. 1:17 remaining in the second quarter. Problem with the scoreboard clock, which reads 0-0. Kern once again punting from his own end zone. Another terrific kick, forcing Calvin back to the 28. 15-yard return out to the 43. That punt is 68 yards, a new career best for Kern on the second opportunity. Well, Fox Tuesday, are you ready to get spooked? There's nothing more terrifying, nothing more electrifying than when Glee rocks Rocky Horror. It's the Halloween event that's got more tricks than treats. Don't miss the Rocky Horror Glee Show. All new Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
To make sure I catch that one, I was a big Rocky Horror Picture Show fan.
So is he.
He looks like a wrestler from Mexico.
He's ready to go. Eagles with no timeouts remaining. They lead by 3. from the 43-yard line. Cobb firing downfield to Macklin. And it is broken up, nearly picked off by Chris Hope. So the Eagles taking another shot downfield.
That has been the difference this week. They just haven't been able to get the big shot. Jason Avant holds Chris Hope for a little while on the right side. That allows Jeremy Macklin to get behind him. But again, this wind playing a little bit of havoc with the throws down the field, moving the direction Philadelphia is going with right now. That's a nice job by Chris Hope getting back to make a play on the ball.
From the 43-yard line, 2nd and 10. Cobb to Avant into Titans territory. Remember, the Eagles are out of timeouts, gain of 8.
Stop by Tulloch. 3rd down.
Approximately 40 seconds remaining in the half. Cobb to Avant. Stays in bounds. Time being kept on the field. Number 44. Cobb will clock it.
It's got to be hard in a 2-minute situation with nowhere to look to see how much time is remaining in the half.
.24 seconds remaining in the first half from the Titans' 44-yard line. The Eagles with no timeouts. 3 wide receivers. Cobb throws again over the middle, so the clock continues to run. Jason Avant makes the catch. Cobb will spike it again. Line of scrimmage now the 29 with 9 seconds remaining. This would be approximately a 47-yard field goal attempt. And Andy Reid will send out David Akers and the field goal unit.
Looks like they're having some issues with the play clock also. You can see all the Eagles kind of motioning to get that play clock reset. The 3rd time on this 2-minute situation that Philadelphia has asked for that clock to be reset.
Akers hit from 25 earlier. This officially a 46-yard attempt from the left hash. Rocket places it down, and Akers' kick has the distance. It is good. Akers 2 for 2. Extends the Eagles' lead to 13-7.
That's a nice job by the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, in all 3 phases, we talked about how well they played last week as a team, and there the defense holds Tennessee backed up. And then even though they get a great punt from Brett Kern, 2 great punts from Brett Kern, the Titans force Philadelphia back, but their offense, without a game clock in the stadium, does a great job putting David Akers in a position to get 3 points at the end of the half.
4 seconds remaining in this first half. Eagles have scored 10 points in the last minute, 52 seconds.
We'll take a look at the touchdowns this afternoon. Kenny Britt misses the first quarter and a half, but as soon as he gets back on the field, there's a big play down the field from Kerry Collins. And Riley Cooper with the short touchdown catch after making a great play on a reverse flea flicker by the Philadelphia Eagles. An underthrown ball. Riley Cooper comes back and makes a great catch right around the 5-yard line, and then later on gets the touchdown on that short catch and run.
So the Eagles lead is now 13-7. There have been 4 kickoffs today. None of them have been brought out of the end zone. 4 touchbacks. 4 seconds remaining, second quarter. Eagles 13, Titans 7. Akers kicks it short. No flags. As the first half comes to an end. Final 4 seconds tick off the clock. All the scoring in the second quarter. There's Riley Cooper. He has the Eagles touchdown. Philadelphia leading Tennessee 13-7.
Well, here's the big play in that first half. Philadelphia is going to throw a couple of these at you during the course of the game. Throwing into the wind, it's underthrown. It looks like Chris Hope is in perfect position for the interception, but a great effort by Riley Cooper. And then he gets the touchdown a couple plays later.
That gave the Eagles a 10-7 lead, a late field goal by Akers. So the Eagles lead it by 6 at the half. The Visa halftime report from Los Angeles is coming up next. Nashville as we get set for the second half here on Fox, with the Eagles leading the Titans by the score of 13-7. Kenny Albert along with Darryl Johnston. Howie Long during the Visa halftime report said he was very impressed with Kevin Cobb in that first half.
I thought he did a good job because I think Tennessee was getting some pressure on him. And he's not Michael Vick. He's not going to take off and run all over the field and really threaten the defense that way. But what he does is he extends the play, gives himself an opportunity to make the throw down the field. And on a 3rd and 14, he was able to scramble 15 for the first down. So he does have mobility. But I've been impressed with both defenses. I thought Tennessee did get some good pressure on Philadelphia, kind of took them out of the rhythm, which is very important for that offense. And I thought Philadelphia's defense has done a great job up until this point against Chris Johnston. But you have to remember, with Chris Johnston, don't pat yourself on the back until the final whistle blows, because he can go the distance at any time.
Barones kicks off to begin the second half. Taken at the 3 by Calvin. Scoreboard clock is working as Calvin returns it to the 25. We just referenced Kevin Cobb and Howie Long and what Howie had to say at halftime. Cobb, the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. There are his first half numbers. The NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Howie's son, Chris Long of the St. Louis Rams.
Congratulations, Howie. And Chris.
And Kevin.
And Kevin.
Although Kevin did not receive anything.
Just his fine. He got his fine check.
No certificate, no handshake.
Yeah, with the NFL, we got to do something. For the Player of the Week and the Player of the Month, we have to, something.
First play of the second half is an end around to Jeremy Maclin, and he picks up a first down out to the 39-yard line, a gain of 14.
Oh, but now we got Jeremy Maclin slow to get up. Pulled down from behind by Jason Babin. He's going to be coming this direction on the end around. Now watch here, the great cut inside. Good hustle by Jason Babin. You wonder if it was actually Dave Ball as he's coming across. The second guy in.
Eagles, of course, already without Deshaun Jackson. Now Maclin leaves the field. Chad Hall and Riley Cooper are the wideouts. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Cobb under pressure. Throws it away. Helped up by Jason Babin, who was an Eagle last year.
But that's another play that demonstrates the mobility of Kevin Cobb. Here comes Brent Selleck across the formation. He's picked up in coverage. There's nowhere to go. Kevin Cobb has the mobility to extend it long enough so he can get rid of the ball, not take the sack. And let's just go back to the line of scrimmage.
Jeremy Maclin returns to the field, missed only one play. Eagles empty the backfield. Chad Hall moves into the slot. 2nd and 10. Cobb to Selleck.
Yeah, baby, great 2nd and 2.
Stays on his feet, finally taken down at the 43-yard line after picking up 4.
And that's a nice effort by Brent Selleck because there's really nothing there. I mean, Tennessee does a great job of reading the screen. Look at Will Witherspoon, number 92. He's right there, gets back inside, stays on his feet. That was all Brent Selleck. That's a nice job.
Witherspoon, an Eagle last year as well, like Babin. Eagles now facing a 3rd down and 6. Maclin split out to the left. Jason Avant split to the right. Eagles must get to the 49. Cobb moving to his right. He fires. And Comes down with it in Titans territory for an Eagles first down. Nice catch by Jason Avant for a gain of 9.
Wow.
Looked like Finnegan actually helped him stay in bounds.
Watch the left foot, though. I want to watch the left foot here. Yeah, I think he had it down prior to that, but even on that one, it looked like it got outside where it was out of bounds, and he was able to pull it back inbounds before he put it down.
Now, penalty marker on the next play. Quick snap by the Eagles, and the Titans are unable to challenge.
And it goes against the Titans.
Offside, defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's on Dave Ball.
Sometimes you worry it's going to be on the offense because you're hurrying up to line up and not everybody gets set for that second that they need to before the snap. But Philadelphia, very efficient in that situation, actually gets 5 yards from Tennessee.
5th Titans penalty. From the Tennessee 43. Off the play fake. Cobb to the outside, and the catch is made by Macklin for another Eagles first down at the 35, gain of 8. We spoke to Jeremy Macklin yesterday as Deshaun Jackson was leaving the field last week. Macklin leaned over. He said, "I have your back." We asked Jeremy how Deshaun is doing. He said, "He's doing well. I've tried to keep his spirits up all week."
Good to hear that he's doing well, and Andy Reid mentioned it too, and a lot of it's just the soreness from the hit that he took from Dante Robinson last week. But a nice friendly competition that goes on at practice with Jeremy Macklin and Deshaun Jackson. They challenge each other. That's just going to help them both as they progress through their careers.
From the 35, Cobb looking left, he throws, and pass sails behind LaShawn McCoy, who did not turn around.
Yeah, I think Kevin's going to have a word with LaShawn. He was just kind of jogging out there into the flat, but they had dropped coverage to take away the slant from Jeremy Macklin. So as Kevin Cobb goes through his progression, he's got to get that to the flat to LaShawn McCoy, and he was not ready for that throw.
2nd and 10, empty backfield. Cooper split to the left, Hall to the right. Now Hall shifts into the backfield. Takes the handoff from Cobb. Chad Hall running hard. Down to the 28-yard line, gain of 7.
And that's Chad Hall.
That's a nice little play. We saw it last week against Atlanta. We've seen it twice already here this afternoon. I mean, Chad Hall, he must just get lost. Here's the handoff. You're like, all right, I saw 16 in the backfield. Where did he go?
Eagles not afraid to move players around, use them in all different kinds of situations. 3rd down and 3. Cobb rolling right, directing traffic. Throws it away.
They'd throw so many things at you during the course of the game, and when we talked to Chuck Cecil, he said, yeah, I don't even know how they do it. I don't know how they can teach everybody all the different formations, personnel groups. They get it done so quickly, so efficiently. He said, that's the biggest challenge for us, is making sure we recognize who's on the field. And he was very impressed with Marty Morningweg and Andy Reid both for the offense that they've developed in Philadelphia. He said it's very, very challenging to go up against it as a defense.
And the Titans also prepared for 2 quarterbacks this week. They didn't know if they would see Vic, as well as Cobb. Akers hits from 46, making up for last week. He is now 3 for 3 here in Nashville. Back in Music City, where the Titans have lost their last 2 home games. Pittsburgh and Denver. Eagles drive 9 plays. Start the second half. David Akers perfect on the day. Eagles lead by 9. Akers once again through the end zone with the win. Titans will start from their own 20. Eagles lead the Titans 16-7. Kerry Collins in the first half, 6 of 14. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Chris Johnston, 44 yards on the ground. He averages over 100 per game in his career. Collins looking looking to set up the screen to the tight end, Greg Stevens.
I tell you, you can see the difference between the way Philadelphia runs the screen and Tennessee right here. Just so quick. The hardest thing about that screen is to have the patience to have an impact on the defense, to get them out of the area. That was run so quickly, no chance for Craig Stevens, even if it was completed. He had the defense already turned and in pursuit.
Second and 10, Chris Johnston. Drops it out to the 23-yard line. Antonio Dixon, the tackle. Titans facing 3rd down and 7.
Antonio Dixon.
Can't say enough about this Eagles defense and what they've done against the running game up until this point right now. And that's following having to go against Frank Gore in San Francisco, Michael Turner in Atlanta last week. And Sean McDermott's got his group ready again this afternoon going up against Chris Johnston.
Johnson's longest run today, 12 yards.
It's not over yet. I mean, you have to play all 60 minutes against Chris Johnston. He is that explosive. You make one mistake and he'll have a huge run on you.
3rd down and 7, 3 wide receivers set. Collins fires right into the hands of Asante Samuel. Second interception thrown by Collins. Today, 3rd of the season for the 3-time Pro Bowler. Eagles will take over, already leading by 9.
When you talk about aggressive cornerbacks, a lot of it is the preparation during the week. Watch Asante Samuel. He's in a trail position. He's got the vertical inside him. Now, what the vertical inside will do is clear out that area for the deep end to come in behind it. Asante Samuel sees that route develop and just beats Kenny Britt to the spot. That is great preparation during the week that gets you an interception on Sunday.
Now remember that Titans committed 2 turnovers in the first half. Eagles did not score any points off of those turnovers. Here's McCoy, and he is close to a 1st down. Titans all season, Darryl, have not allowed a touchdown following a turnover by their offense.
Oh, that's the key. You know, it's not so much generating the takeaway, it's what you do with it, what your offense does once that defense gives you the opportunity with another possession. And Tennessee's defense has responded very, very well all season when their offense has given up a turnover.
First and 10 from the Titans 31. McCoy up the middle, gain of 3. Stephen Tulloch made the tackle. Led the Titans with 8 tackles in the first half.
Second and 8.
Riley Cooper split to the left. Darby Macklin to the right. 2nd down and 7. McCoy again up the middle. And LaShawn McCoy is close to another Eagles 1st down.
And I think the way that Philadelphia does their offense with all the big plays and all the formations, and it slows your reaction time down. Now you can run the ball. Now you can come back inside and just on a simple inside zone play right there to LaShawn McCoy. You've got some good running lanes.
McCoy's ribs still not 100%. Coach is very happy with how he has run the last 2 games after suffering the rib injury.
Just a really gutty performance a couple of weeks ago against San Francisco too. I mean, the previous week just in a tremendous amount of pain, couldn't do anything during the course of the work week getting ready for the game, and then against San Francisco, you know, with not only the rushing yardage but also the receptions out of the backfield. I think he earned a lot of respect from Andy Reid, the staff, and everybody on that team with his demonstration of his toughness.
Eagles terrific on 3rd down today. Eldra Buckley has replaced McCoy in the backfield. 3rd and inches, Cobb on the sneak. And the Eagles get a new set of downs as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Why would Smith just let Washington have the ball at the 1-yard line without a challenge, Kenny? Moose?
Wow. Interesting sequence, Kurt. Eagles inside the red zone from the Titans 19. Cobb over the top, complete at the 14-yard line to Jason Avant for a gain of 5.
Complete to Avant.
King Dunlap down on the turf. Nashville native, over 20 friends and family members in attendance today in Dunlap's hometown. Back in Nashville, Eagles left tackle King Dunlap starting once again today for the injured Jason Peters, injured on the last play. So Todd Harrimans moves out to left tackle. Nick Cole enters the game at left guard.
But the good news, he didn't get rolled up. It didn't look like anything trapped that leg, and he got bent awkwardly. So hopefully King Dunlap will be able to jump back in the game here after a couple of plays.
Second down and 5. Inside handoff to McCoy. Takes it down to the 11. Gain of 2. 3rd and 3 upcoming.
We'll go back and take a look at it. When you see somebody down and they're working on the knee, your biggest fear is that his leg got trapped and the pile bent backwards on him. He's number 65 working on the outside right there. And as Todd Harrimans comes out, it looks like everything is there and it comes out. So it doesn't take much sometimes. You can just get a little wiggle in that joint and you can get a nice, painful movement in there. But the good news is it wasn't trapped and he wasn't bent over awkwardly.
Now 3rd down and 3. Cobb fires, and it's caught down at the 2-yard line by Riley Cooper for an Eagles first down.
Nice throw catch right here, one-on-one on the outside.
Burner on the tackle.
Nice timing between Kevin Cobb and Riley Cooper. Alteron Werner was in good position, but that play was delivered with such good timing, he couldn't make a play on the ball.
Cooper's 3rd catch today, came into the game with 1. 1st and goal from the Titans 2. McCoy lost the football. Titans say they have it. Officials trying to get down to the bottom of the pile. Tennessee football.
I'm going to give this one to Jason Jones. I don't know if anybody got a piece of him. But I tell you what, he was in the backfield. He impacted the handoff between Kevin Cobb and LaShawn McCoy. Watch number 91 right there. LaShawn McCoy can't get it clean. The ball's on the ground.
So the Titans defense does it again after a turnover by their offense. 3 Titans turnovers. Eagles, no points. The Eagles have turned the ball over for the 2nd time, so the Titans take over on their own 3-yard line. Philadelphia leading 16-7 on 1st down. Collins handing it off to Johnston. Tries to get out of the end zone, and he did.
Barely. All right, we talked about Chris Johnston's patience, but not down in this situation. He is very, very lucky.
By a hair, literally.
Wow.
Johnson lost 2 on the play, now 2nd down and 12. Movement prior to the snap, and the play is blown dead.
False start, offense, number 80. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
O'Scafe.
Let's go back and take a look and find out how we got here. Here's Jason Jones right here. Now, you might want to block him. He's kind of at the point of attack. And something happens with Philadelphia's assignments, and he's right on Kevin Cobb. He impacts the handoff to LaShawn McCoy. So I don't know if it was Mike McGlynn that didn't come play side. I don't know if it was Max Gene Gillis that didn't take the man on him. But they turned the guy loose right at the point of attack.
Now on 2nd and 12, Collins from the end zone, looking downfield with a pass a bit short, intended for Kenny Britt. There is a flag back at the 22-yard line.
Pass interference, defense number 31, armbar. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
An armbar, so Hobbs extended his arm into the face of Britt.
Yeah, but not down where the ball came in at the point of the catch. It wasn't here. It was actually back near, back upfield a little bit more. If they're going to call it where the flag was thrown, it's closer to the 20 than where it was when the ball came in.
Well, the Titans gained 21 yards on the penalty. Gives Tennessee a little breathing room. From the 22 on first down, Collins looking for Britt. He's got it. Kenny Britt stepped out of bounds back at the 44-yard line. A 34-yard pass play.
Here's Quentin Michael. He's the one who's going to end up in coverage on it. Again, he gets caught a little bit flat-footed. He's not getting out of his back pedal fast enough. And he got real lucky that Kenny Britt stepped out of bounds because he's not going to catch him.
Second reception for Britt today. His first went for a touchdown after he was benched for the first quarter and a half. From the 44 on first down. Collins had that one batted back by Dixon. Gary Collins in his 16th season, 37 years of age, told us, "I still feel pretty good every morning."
That's amazing. 16 years in the NFL. You take some big hits at the quarterback position.
Two-time Pro Bowler. Started for the Giants in Super Bowl 35 against Tony Siragusa and the Ravens, who were honored at halftime today in Baltimore.
Actually back celebrating that game against Kerry Collins.
Collins with loads of time. The pass is caught at the 40-yard line by Lavelle Hawkins, the third-year receiver out of Cal, for a gain of 4. I don't think Kerry celebrated that game, though, right?
No, not at all.
Boy, we can hear Andy whistle all the way up here. Third down and 6. Movement, penalty flags. Play blown dead as Collins goes down at midfield.
One of the officials came in and signaled false start. It looks like the huddle, they might change it.
Before the ball was snapped, the nose guard jumped into the neutral zone, causing the false start. Therefore, the foul is on the defense. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Yeah, I think Andy saw the one official come in signaling false start right away. We're going to have movement right here. So they're saying that that caused the false start by Tennessee. And here's what I mean about 16 years in the NFL. And Kerry saying, you know, I still feel good in the morning when I wake up.
Well, he hasn't started a game in a year.
It doesn't matter.
But he did tell us that on Friday. Led the Titans to a 13-3 record 2 seasons ago. Off the play fake on third and short.
What a nice play.
Pass is caught for a first down by Kenny Britt.
There's a couple of really nice things on this play. Moses Foku does a great job of recognizing what's happening on the bootleg. He's going to get Ahmad Hall coming all the way across. He's going to knock him down as he comes out. Watch 53 come into the play, recognize it, boom. There goes your fullback out of the play. Now Kerry Collins extends it, gets to his next read. Good work by Kenny Britt on that intermediate route coming on the boot. Couple of nice plays. One by Moses Foku and then Kerry Collins and Kenny Britt finishing it.
From the 29 on first down, Collins just able to get rid of it. He saw Foku coming. And the catch is made on the far side by Bo Scaife as we check in with Kurt.
Back-to-back possessions by...
Big play by Hall. Bears in 4-2, and that's been a seesaw battle in Chicago.
That's a couple of crazy plays.
Second down and 7. Screen to Johnston. Broke a tackle, takes it down to the 22-yard line before he's taken down by Trent Cole. Gain of 3. Under 2 minutes remaining, third quarter. Eagles with a 9-point lead. They were driving, and then LaShawn McCoy turned the ball over. Titans started this drive on their own 3-yard line. And now they face a 3rd and 4 from the Eagles' 23. That pass not even close. Kenny Britt, Chris Johnston were downfield. Titans will send out Rob Baronis and the field goal unit.
Just a miscommunication with Kerry Collins and Chris Johnston. Chris broke in on the choice route, and Kerry expected him to break out.
First attempt today for Baronis, who was hit on his last 7 attempts. Brett Kern setting up on the left hash at the 31-yard line. So a 41-yard attempt for Baronis. Baronis from 41, it is good. So the Titans have now scored 10 points off Eagle turnovers, and they have pulled to within 6. Rob Baronis, 41-yard field goal. Titans now trail the Eagles by 6 late in this third quarter, as the Titans, who have turned the ball over 3 times, have scored 10 points off the Eagles' 2 turnovers.
We talked about this Titans defense. It was rated 16th in the league, but that's yards. There's other areas where they're very, very good, and one of the best ones, they have not allowed a touchdown following a turnover, but maybe on a kickoff.
Jarrett Calvin across midfield. Big return to the Titans' 44. A 41-yard return by Calvin, his longest kick return of the season. Well, coming up this Wednesday on Fox, it's Game 1 of the 2010 World Series. Texas Rangers in the Fall Classic for the first time in franchise history. San Francisco Giants have not won a World Series since their move out west. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific in high def. Game 1 of the World Series on Fox.
And King Dunlap back in at left tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Cobb on 1st and 10 from the 45, complete for a first down to Jeremy Maclin at the Titans' 28-yard line, a 17-yard pass play.
This is just a nice throw by Kevin Cobb. Little play action right there. Here comes Jason Jones again, right up the middle, just slides to his left a little bit, and then a great throw to the outside to Jeremy Maclin. Having some fun out there.
On the 28 on first down. Another completion at the 25-yard line. Again to Maclin. Cobb having some fun. We had fun with him yesterday, and you alluded to it earlier. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. You get nothing. No certificate, no handshake. The Eagles are going to paint a football for him, but he was fined $5,000 for a horse collar tackle following an interception. He received the package in the mail informing him of that one.
Yeah, we told him. We didn't think it was a horse collar, so we told him he should appeal it. Maybe he can get some of that money back.
They told us Michael Vick didn't even get anything after he was named Offensive Player of the Month in the NFC in September.
Yeah, we gotta get something done with the NFL. You get Player of the Week or you get Player of the Month. We got to put together a little package for these guys.
Need to send him something. 3/4 of the books. Eagles by 6.
Looks old school, like Chuck Bednarik's era. You betcha.
How would you like wearing one of those helmets?
No, thank you. I just hope he didn't use a lead-based paint.
Well, his Eagles lead the Titans 16-10 as we start this fourth quarter. 2nd and 7 for the Eagles from the Tennessee 25. The screen to LaShawn McCoy, stumbled, stayed on his feet, and picks up a first down Knocked out of bounds by Griffin at the Titans' 15-yard line. Gain of 10.
It's just such a different look when Philadelphia runs their screens, and they look at the key guys to block, which is probably going to be Will Witherspoon or Stephen Tulloch. Those are your key guys. You've got to get them. Look at the linemen come out, and they just throw. It's so hard for the big guys to get out in the open field and try and get a good block on somebody. So Marty Morningweg tells them, get out there and just throw. And they'll have to get down and defend themselves, and that's enough time for whoever has the screen, whether it's LaShawn McCoy is on a traditional or one of your wide receivers or a tight end. They'll get by the defender if you just throw.
3 wide receivers set from the 15-yard line. A pump fake by Cobb. He backpedals, and then he throws it away.
Second down.
It's a chess match. Marty Morningweg, Chuck Cecil, 2nd and 10. Again, a 3 wide receiver set. Cobb out of the shotgun on 2nd down. Cobb over the top to Macklin. He spins inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. Gain of 6 on Macklin's 5th reception today.
And that's a good job by Jeremy Macklin right there of being able to stop. Again, it's that situation where you're going to be running through a zone and he's able to stop as Stephen Tulloch comes up to make the hit.
Last 3 trips into the red zone by the Eagles, they've been held to 2 field goals, and they turned it over the last time. 3rd down and 5. Cobb's pass is broken up. Werner, rookie out of UCLA, 4th-round pick. So the Eagles again forced to send out the field goal unit.
There are certain things you can't teach players. They just have instincts. And Alteron Werner has instincts when you talk about making plays on the football. He was the one who came up with the fumble the last time Philadelphia was in the red zone, and he almost gets another red zone turnover right there. Jeff Fisher told us, hey, if we can make them kick field goals, we've got a chance, and his defense has done that this afternoon.
28-yard attempt. David Akers is 4 for 4. Well, the Titans do hold the Eagles to a field goal, but it's again a 2-possession game. Back in Nashville, Eagles leading the Titans 19-10. Akers connecting on his 4th field goal after the Eagles were set up in terrific field position by the kick return by Calvin.
You wonder how important it was for David Akers last week to get that field goal at the end of the game. I mean, being 0 for 3 and overthinking stuff and worrying about things, and he's able to get one late in the game. You wonder if that kind of got rid of any negative thoughts in his head coming into this week. I mean, he's been awesome this week, 4 for 4.
He was wide left 3 times against Atlanta. The Eagles still won the game by 14. He hit the late field goal, as Darryl mentioned, and today 4 for 4, 1 shy of a career high. Yet another touchback. Early 4th quarter. Here in Nashville, Eagles by 9. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have never beaten the Tennessee Titans. They were 6-0 against the Houston Oilers before the Oilers moved to Tennessee. Collins firing downfield for Britt, makes an adjustment, makes the catch. Kenny Britt inside the 10, the 5, touchdown, 80 yards.
Boy, Sean McDermott was right. Unfortunately, his breakout game may come against this Philadelphia defense. They're just getting caught flat-footed. That time it's Nate Allen. We've seen Quentin Michael in the same situation. If Kenny Britt is running at you full speed, you better get out of your back pedal, and you can't be flat-footed.
The longest reception of Britt's career. His second touchdown today. Titans are within 2. Kenny Britt with his second touchdown reception today after Jeff Fisher held him out for the first quarter and a half following his altercation on Thursday night in a nightclub. Career high 146 yards. Longest pass thrown by Kerry Collins since 2002. Eagles will start from the 20. We talked about what Britt adds to this Titans offense, and we saw it again there.
Oh, I mean, just the potential for a big play. And right here, let's take a look at the other side of the field first. Nate Washington, you've got Asante Samuel and Quentin Michael kind of on a bracket coverage there. Now on the other side is your big play threat, Kenny Britt. Right there. I mean, Nate Allen has got to get out of that back pedal. He's got to open his hips and start giving ground. He's letting Kenny Britt get too close to him before he's moving. I don't know what he's sitting on. I don't know what he sees, but Kenny Britt has run by several of these Eagles defenders.
Cobb's pass is deflected. Sent Derek Marks, second year out of Auburn, got a hand on it.
And we see so many of these nowadays. I mean, the defensive linemen have been coached so well. With the quick throws coming out on those 3-step drops, you're not going to get pressure to get the sack. So have that rhythm in your head. Push, 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 get your hands up. Block those throwing lanes.
Second and 10, McCoy. Gain of 3. As we said, in West to Kurt.
After blowing a 24-3 halftime lead, the Falcons have come back against the Bengals. Matt Ryan hooking up with Roddy White for the touchdown. White, 9 catches, 186 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Falcons just got the 2-point conversion. It's 32-25. Atlanta up by 7. Kenny and Moose.
Thanks very much, Kurt. 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles. Fires downfield. Cooper slipped. And then it was nearly intercepted by Griffin. Griffin shaken up. I thought Cobb might run for a first down like we saw earlier.
Yeah, I think if you watch the end of this play, we'll see if we can stay on long enough to see. He'll put his hands to his head. I think he thinks the exact same thing, Kenny. I mean, there's a lot of space out there. He's got Will Witherspoon in front of him. You have to make him miss. But he felt like he could fit it into Riley Cooper.
Griffin looking off. He had an interception earlier. Fans on their feet here in Nashville. As the Titans scored on an 80-yard completion from Collins to Britt moments ago, and now they will get the ball back after an Eagles 3-and-out. Rocca has not punted since the first quarter. Wow, what a kick. Mariani from the 15. Puts it back inside. Down to the 34, 19-yard return. Following the 63-yard punt. Rocca matching his season high. Well, next week, a Fox NFL doubleheader. Many of you will see the Green Bay Packers and the New York Jets in game one. Jets with a bye this week, and then the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots from Foxborough. Packers and Jets, Vikings and Patriots next week. Pre-game show at noon Eastern on Fox.
NFC North, AFC East doubleheader.
From the 34, Chris Johnston. Eagles have done a good job defending Johnston today. He has 7 consecutive 100-yard games against the NFC. So far today, only 46 yards on the ground.
You wonder if that has some impact on Quentin Michael and Nate Allen being down inside the line of scrimmage and allowing Kenny Britt to get by them. So just Chris Johnston's ability to break those long runs, it makes you think about it. Your focus is there, and all of a sudden you get some play action, and Kenny Britt is running right by it.
Britt split to the left, 2nd down and 9. Collins with time. Britt downfield, he's got it. "42 yards.
It's just making a play at the point of the catch, and that's what Kenny Britt is doing right now. Again, Nate Allen is kind of caught flat-footed. But watch the point of the catch. Kenny Britt's just going up and getting it. The defenders are out of position.
From the 23 on 1st down, Johnson hit for a loss by the combination of Antonio Dixon and Ernie Sims.
That's a huge day. And Sean McDermott was exactly right. You watch somebody on film and you can see the potential. Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator, as soon as Kenny Britt got into the lineup, he's been getting the ball in his direction. Sean McDermott was exactly right when he told us the potential that Kenny Britt has.
2nd and 15. Collins near side, Bo Scaife. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Gain of 2.
Third down.
So a 3rd down and 13 coming up for Jeff Fisher's Titans.
3rd and 12.
Fisher, the Eagles defensive coordinator back in 1988 as a 30-year-old under Buddy Ryan. He was the youngest coordinator in the league at that point. Now in his 17th year with the Titans franchise. 3rd down and 13. Here comes Hansen, forcing Collins to throw it away. There's a flag on the far side.
Offside. Defense, nose guard. 5-yard penalty. 53rd down.
It's not the nose guard, it's actually going to be Stuart Bradley. Middle linebacker walked up in between the guard and center area. That's the 2nd time they've gotten caught with the linebackers walking up into the gap.
7th Eagles penalty. 3rd down and 7. Titans must get to the 13. Collins to the end zone. Looking for Nate Washington. No flags.
Asante Samuel's mad at himself. He knows he should have had an interception right there that would have kept this field goal attempt from happening. Kerry Collins gets lucky because he just throws this one up into double coverage. Asante undercuts it.
So here's Rob Baronis. Hit from 41 earlier. This a 38-yard attempt for the lead from the left hash. Titans last led at 7-3 back in the 2nd quarter. The kick by Baronis is good. Tennessee by 1. Thanks in large part to Kenny Britt. The Tennessee Titans now lead the Philadelphia Eagles by a point.
They have not been able to contain Kenny Britt in the passing game. Remember how lucky they got. He had the one long catch where he stepped out of bounds, or he was going to have another long touchdown besides the 80-yarder that he got later on.
Britt in his second season out of Rutgers with receptions today of 26, 34, 6, 80, and 42 yards. 2 touchdowns for Britt. Kickoff by Baronis. Calvin takes a knee. Well, we take you back to the third quarter with the Eagles leading 16-7. McCoy coughs it up at the 2-yard line going in.
Jason Jones makes the big play, a breakdown in the blocking assignment for the Philadelphia Eagles. And look what's happened since that time.
170 yards of offense, and the Titans have scored on all 3 possessions, a touchdown and 2 field goals. 13 points for Tennessee since that fumble. Had the Eagles scored on that drive, it would have been a 16-point game. Instead, the Titans now lead by 1. Cobb on first down, swings it out to Chad Hall. Hall is forced out of bounds by Vincent Fuller after picking up 5. So the Eagles, who seemingly had things under control with that 16-7 lead, they were inside the 5-yard line of the Titans. And now Andy Reid finds his club down by a point. Eagles perfect on the road this year. 3-0 wins in Detroit, Jacksonville, and San Francisco. Second down and 5. The handoff to Hall. Jason Jones, the tackle, no gain.
But you have to remember, I mean, until last week when they really kind of closed out Atlanta, you know, this Philadelphia team had big leads in San Francisco, in Detroit. They allowed those teams back into the game. They were able to pull away and win at the end, but it's the same thing. As you pointed out, Kenny, they were in complete control of this game up until that LaShawn McCoy fumble, and it's just completely slipped away from them.
Third down and 5. Off his back foot, there's a flag, complete to Macklin, and he has a first down, penalty marker back at the 18-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Right tackle, Winston Justice.
Winston Justice, your right tackle. Oh. Jason Babin created that by getting low. I mean, just such great leverage. He got down below. Both Winston Justice and King Dunlap, very tall tackles for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Jason Babin got so low when he tried to turn that corner. Winston Justice had no choice but to tackle him.
Third down and 15. Eagles must get to the 30. Cobb fires downfield from Macklin. Incomplete. Macklin looking for a flag. There are none thrown. Eagles will punt.
Jeremy Macklin working the inside. Jason Avant on the vertical route on the outside. They've got double coverage. Chris O, Michael Griffin in position. Pressure on Kevin Cobb. You can see the hit as he delivers the ball from Senderick Marks.
Savranka standing back at the goal line. Mariani takes it at the 45. And he's forced back by Dimitri Patterson. Good field position, however, for the Titans following the 40-yard kick. Cobb just 3 for 8 here in the fourth quarter. Kenny Britt, the story for the Tennessee Titans after he was benched for the first quarter and a half.
Oh, but what a sluggish offense in that first quarter and a half. And as soon as Kenny Britt got into the lineup, it's just exploded. And Kerry Collins is just throwing the ball up. You know, a lot of times it's underthrown, but Kenny Britt's coming back and making great plays on the ball. catching the ball in traffic, and then we've seen his breakaway speed once he gets it in his hands.
42 receptions as a rookie last season. His best day as a pro today. Collins looking for both Scaife. And it's complete out at the 48-yard line for a gain of 2. Harry Collins making his first start since last October. Vince Young had started the last 16 games. Pass was ruled to completion. Titans 12-4 over the last 16 with Young at the helm.
Amazing. I mean, to start out the season 0-6 last year, and then to string together 12 out of 16.
Britt wide open.
Holy cow.
21 yards. Britt over 200 for the day.
And that's double coverage. You've got Ellis Hobbs underneath, Nate Allen over the top. Ellis Hobbs having trouble getting out of the break, keeping up with Kenny Britt. So really the underneath help you have completely ineffective in that situation.
Collins throws this one away. Kenny Britt, first Titan to go over 200 receiving yards in a game since Drew Bennett back in December of 04.
Second down.
Imagine if he played during the first quarter and a half. Set a Big East record while at Rutgers. He scored a touchdown in 5 consecutive games. First round pick last year by the Titans. Johnston inside the 20, and Moses Foku may have saved a touchdown. Johnston gains 12, matching his longest run today.
Here he is again. He's just really patient, and if you don't have all the gaps covered, he's going to find that seam. Good hustle by Moses Foku. Moses Foku has had a nice game this afternoon for Philadelphia. Touchdown saving tackle there coming from the backside.
Johnston to the 16.
Second and 8. At the 15-yard line.
We approach 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. As you see on our Fox box in the upper left, both teams have all 3 timeouts. Second down and 8. Collins, end zone, touchdown. Guess who? Kenny Britt.
I don't know what to say, Kenny. I mean, you've got one player out there who's absolutely turned the momentum, turned the tide in this game, and you were just unable to stop him. Ellis Hobbs has him on the release, sells him on that little move off the line of scrimmage. You get your eyes on Kerry Collins, and all of a sudden Kenny Britt is behind you. Pretty good performance for Kerry Collins today, too. I tell you, he started out pretty sluggishly in this game. This Tennessee offense did not look good through the first quarter and then into the second, but as soon as Kenny Britt got into the lineup, Kerry Collins found his guy.
Seven receptions, 225 yards, 3 touchdowns. Titans have outscored the Eagles 20-3 since the LaShawn McCoy fumble.
And that was all started by a defensive play. It was Jason Jones on a missed blocking assignment by Philadelphia that caused the fumble by LaShawn McCoy. He impacted the handoff between Kevin Cobb and LaShawn McCoy.
You talk about one play turning the tide of a 60-minute game. Had the Eagles scored during that possession, they would have extended their 16-7 lead to 23-7. Almost an insurmountable comeback for the Titans. Instead, everything's gone the other way.
Well, who knows the way that Kenny Britt's playing right now. That lead might not have been safe at this point, but there's nothing more demoralizing for a team when you can't stop one facet of a game, one player in a game, and right now that's what has happened to the Philadelphia defense. They cannot stop Kenny Britt.
LaShawn McCoy out to the 26 for a gain of 6.
We've had back-to-back possessions by this Philadelphia offense without a first down. They've got to do their part. We've talked a lot about the coverage issues with Philadelphia's defense against Kenny Britt, but Marty Morningwig's group right here cannot go 3 and out. They have got to convert and start moving the football down the field.
Second down and 4. Cobb fires downfield, and Macklin nearly able to come up with the catch. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt.
Kenny Moose.
I thought Jay Cutler was past that. He had a tough season last year with the interceptions. I didn't expect to see him struggle with that situation again this year.
Incredible second halves today around the league. Third down and 4. That pass is broken up, intended for Brent Selleck. It's the former Eagle Will Witherspoon who got a hand on it.
Brent Selleck, number 87. Great coverage by Will Witherspoon. You wonder how many times they battled in training camp or during the course of practice when they were teammates in that situation. Right now, the Tennessee Titans have stole all the momentum, all the emotion. And it's been a game that started out with the Philadelphia Eagles in complete control. Tennessee's offense was very sluggish, and then all of a sudden they put number 18 in, and they got a touchdown. Philadelphia came back. Riley Cooper got that one. Philadelphia's in a position to really take control of the game, and then Kenny Britt took control of the game. As you pointed out, Kenny, that big fumble on the play by Jason Jones down on the goal line. Since that time, it's been the Kenny Britt show.
Eagles have been around since 1933. They've never allowed as many yards to an individual receiver as Kenny Britt has today. A new record against Philadelphia. 225 yards receiving by Kenny Britt. Another good pump by Rocca. Mariani. Down at the 22. Garrett Mills the tackle. 61-yard punt.
Well, here's one of those special situations during the course of a game. It's called the 4-minute drill. Tennessee has all the components. They've got a great offensive line. They've got an explosive running back. They can milk this clock down and not allow Philadelphia to have another chance. This defense has got to step up and make a play.
Still a one-possession game. Collins handing it off to Johnston. Johnston gains a yard out to the 24. Eagles use their first timeout. Stop the clock with 4 minutes remaining. Coming up this Wednesday on Fox, game 1 of the World Series, the Texas Rangers and the San Francisco Giants. Darryl used to live in the Dallas area, and I'm sure that will bring back memories for you. Dallas and San Francisco battling in the postseason in a different sport.
And who would have thought as we got close to Halloween that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area we'd be talking about the Texas Rangers more than the Dallas Cowboys.
Unbelievable. Cowboys with a huge Monday night game against the Giants tomorrow. And the World Series will begin in San Francisco on Wednesday. Game 1 on Fox, Giants and Rangers. There's Johnston bottled up. So the Titans now facing a 3rd down and about 8.5, and the Eagles will use their second timeout.
Interesting decision right here for Tennessee. Do you throw the ball on 3rd and 9 to try and convert the first down, extend the possession, leaving Philadelphia with only the 1 timeout, or do you run it here, see if Philadelphia will burn that 3rd and final one, or they just let it go? So see what Mike Heimerdinger has dialed up against Sean McDermott. I'd have a couple guys on number 18 right now, Kenny.
Think?
Yeah. I'm no defensive guru, but I'd have a couple.
Britt is split to the left. Ellis Hobbs matched up with Kenny Britt. And the Titans elect to keep it on the ground with Johnston. And it did not fool Nate Allen, who makes the tackle. So the Titans go the conservative route. Johnston loses 5, and the Titans will punt with 3:49 on the clock. Well, weekdays make lunchtime your prime time. Lunch with benefits on foxsports.com. Watch one-of-a-kind sports shows online from your computer Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern.
Some people dialing up in order right there.
What about that? Fall schedule, season 2. Come on. Come on.
An Eagle fan and a Titan fan can't agree.
How did that happen?
So the Eagles have burned all of their timeouts. They will get the ball back, trailing by 8. Burns punt end over end, taken at the 33 by Calvin. Loses the football. Titans recover. Tim Shaw fell on it. With 3:37 remaining, Tennessee gets the ball right back.
Jorah Calvin has done such a nice job the last couple of weeks. Had a big return last week that sparked the drive. He's had a big kickoff return here today.
Knocked loose by the combination of Gerald McGrath and Lavelle Hawkins. And then recovered by Tim Shaw. So the Eagles out of timeouts. Change of direction by Johnston. Down at the 30, gain of 3. Jorah Calvin, the rookie out of Troy, as you mentioned, has done such a nice job for the Eagles since coming over from Arizona just before the start of the season. 6th round pick by the Cardinals. Eagles burned all 3 of their timeouts during the Titans' possession. Thought they would get the ball back on offense until Calvin lost it.
And everybody's going to focus on that play right there because it happened at the end of this game, but everybody knows that there was a lot of plays leading up to that that changed the complexion of this game.
Johnston tripped up.
Coach Johnson.
Turnovers late in the game, missed field goals. Right as the game is going to end, a lot of people come back and focus on those plays, but we've gone back. We've showed you what has happened to this Philadelphia team since Jason Jones forced the fumble by LaShawn McCoy this Philadelphia Eagles offense the last 2 possessions, not able to generate a first down. And Tennessee has just been going up and down the field, throwing it to Kenny Britt.
They're down in 7. Johnston spins. And Chris Johnston on a terrific second effort gains 8 and picks up a Titans first down.
Well, they got him pinned to the sideline. You think they're going to be able to make a play to force the field goal. Wow, boy, does he make Asante Samuels miss. Head down. You're not going to tackle Chris Johnston staring at the grass.
That might have been his most important run today.
It may have been. It may have been.
Kevin Cobb could only ponder what might have been had the Eagles not turned the ball over in the 3rd quarter on the Titans' 2-yard line, leading by 9. We've hit the 2-minute warning here in Nashville. What a second-half comeback by the Tennessee Titans. A combination of Kerry Collins and Kenny Britt. The Tennessee Titans 2 minutes away from standing all alone in first place in the AFC South. They will travel to San Diego next week. Kenny Britt, 3 touchdowns, 225 yards, most ever against the Eagles in one game. Philadelphia with no timeouts remaining as Collins hands it off to Johnston. He's wrapped up by Ernie Sims. So the clock continues to run. Great job by our entire crew here in Nashville. Our producer Barry Landis, director Michael Frank, associate director Jeremy Green, associate producer Chirag Devaskar, broadcast associate Dan Massey, technical producer David M. Hill, technical director Beepin Vidge. Thanks to Lou Tribbiani, Eric Merlis, Dave Brooks, Matt Banovic, Ricky Camps, and the rest of our crew. On the 22, it's Johnston. And the clock stops as a penalty marker was thrown. 1:13 remaining.
Offside, defense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Titans with a trip to San Diego, then a bye, followed by a road game down south. So they will not play here at home again until November 21st against their 4th and final NFC East opponent. Titans are going to make it 3-0 against the NFC East this season. Wins over the Giants, Redskins earlier this season.
Cowboys. Redskins
Cowboys, Giants, yep. Redskins coming up. And this will be their 12th consecutive win over an NFC team. While the Eagles now head to their bye week. And they are 11-0 under Andy Reid coming out of the bye.
Well, that will be important because this has got to be a huge disappointment for the Eagles. I mean, they had control of this game, and it slipped away from them. And I know that everybody is kind of looking towards that Indianapolis game for the return of Michael Vick. It'll be interesting to see if he's healthy enough to come back. I think that that's what the whole decision will be based on, is if he's healthy enough to come back. And you have to understand how Michael plays the quarterback position. It's not like if Kevin Cobb had the rib injury and he could fight through it and he wasn't 100%. Michael's going to need to be right at 100% to play at the level that Andy Reid's going to expect him to be able to play at. So I think a lot of people were looking for the bye week. We'll see if that happens. If not, it should be shortly after that. But Andy Reid has said it's Michael Vick's job once he's healthy.
Vick has started 3 games this season. Eagles have won 2 of the 3. Injured against Washington back on October 3rd. Cobb led the Eagles to victories over San Francisco and Atlanta. Baronis with 27 seconds remaining. Now to attempt a 33-yard field goal. He is 2 for 2 today. Baronis 3 for 3. And that will put the exclamation point on this Tennessee Titans victory. Titans have scored 20 points here in the fourth quarter and now lead by 11.
You wonder how much the absence of Deshaun Jackson offensively hurt too. When you have Deshaun and Jeremy Maclin together, and you have the style of offense that they've created in Philadelphia with the big plays down the field. I mean, you've lost your big play threat, and there became the big play threat for this afternoon, Kenny Britt. Philadelphia did a great job of slowing down Chris Johnston today, but they had no answer for Kenny Britt.
Britt did not play over the first quarter and a half. Second quarter, 26 yards from Collins to Britt, giving Tennessee the lead.
The underthrown long ball just makes a great catch and run on that. There's his third one.
Touchdown receptions of 26, 80, and 16 yards. Eagles actually led this game 19-10 following an Akers field goal early in the fourth. Titans have scored 20 unanswered points. Most receiving yards since the franchise moved to Tennessee, and the most ever in a game by one player against the Philadelphia Eagles. .22 seconds remaining. Will it be Michael Vick on November 7th against Indianapolis, when the Eagles return to action following their bye? Penalty marker as Cobb completes it to McCoy. Now 14 seconds remaining.
Holding, offense number 65, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Vince Young, who hopes to return next week when the Titans face the Chargers in San Diego. Barry Collins comes off the bench, throws 3 touchdown passes, all to Kenny Britt. Now Cobb firing downfield, and it is picked off by Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan inside the 10, looking to the end zone. He's in, touchdown.
I think a really good teaching tool for Andy Reid to start the bye week would be to show the effort by his offensive players on that interception and say that I will not tolerate this type of performance at any point during the course of the game. His guys made very little effort to stop Cortland Finnegan.
There were fouls by both teams on the play that offset. It was a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, Tennessee. There was also personal foul. The penalties offset. The touchdown counts. We will do the try. We must stay. The rules require that we try the try.
It's underthrown. And right now, there's not a whole lot of effort by the Philadelphia Eagles to get Cortland Finnegan down.
A 41-yard return, his 4th career touchdown. And the Titans have set a franchise record. This is the most points they have ever scored in the 4th quarter of a game. 27. fourth quarter points. And Tennessee wins it by the score of 37-19. Kenny Britt, record-setting day, 3 touchdown receptions. Titans win their 12th in a row against an NFC opponent, including a perfect 3-0 this year.
What an unbelievable change in this game. Philadelphia had complete control at the start of the fourth quarter. Tennessee hung in there, and then it just became the Kenny Britt show. They had no answer for him defensively.
So Tennessee now 5-2. Philadelphia drops to 4-3. Eagles headed to their bye week on a down note. 27 fourth quarter points for the Tennessee Titans. Titans win it by the score of 37-19 here in Nashville.